Hi guys. How nice to see you again. I'm grateful to you for your support. Thanks for choosing to watch my video. In this video, I'll show you how to create 3D text wraparound cylinder like this by Illustrator. Make sure that you're comfortable and ready enough to begin. Okay, we start now. First, I create a new layer and name 104. I choose rectangle tool right there. Press enter to display a dialog box. I'm going to draw a rectangle, 160 pixels in length and 80 pixels wide. For this shape, I keep white stroke and remove the fill. Now go to Object, Path, choose Split into Grid. The rectangle has 80 pixels wide, so I divide it into 8 rows. The height of each row is 10 pixels. The rectangle has 160 pixels in length, so I divide it into 16 columns. The width of each column is 10 pixels. Then click here to preview. Note that the height of each row and the width of each column are equal, and the gutter is 0 pixels. Then I choose Shape Builder tool. Start dragging to merge for creating number 104. Number 1, 0, and 4. I hold Alt and drag to remove the rest. Finally, we have number 104. It is only white stroke. I click here to swap white stroke to white fill. When everything is being selected, group it. I turn off the background behind to see the grid. Now go to View, turn on Grid and don't forget to turn on Snap to Grid. Zoom out a little bit. I move it to here. Hold Shift and drag to scale it proportionally. Scale until you see this side has 8 small squares, and 16 small squares for this side. Choose Direct Selection tool. Drag to make a selection for selecting these anchor points. Move it up 16 squares. Now select anchor points at the bottom. Move it down 2 squares. I also need to stretch this space. Okay, use Selection tool to select this group. Then change to Direct Selection tool. Select one of these corner widgets, any of them, then drag to round corner. Okay, it looks good. So, I'm going to add this to Symbol panel. I name this symbol 104. Look at Symbol panel, there is my symbol I have just made. I don't need to work with this anymore, so I delete it. It's time to turn off Grid and snap to Grid. Let's move on to the next part. Create cylinder. Choose Line Segment tool. Press Enter or left click to display this table. The length of this line is 100 pixels and the angle is 90 degrees. I change color for this. Just any color you want, it doesn't matter. When the line is being selected, go to Effect, 3D, choose Revolve. Always tick off Preview box first. About offsetting, I offset 25 pixels from left or right edge. Choose Front Position in pop-up menu here. When the cursor becomes this symbol, drag to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, now click on Map Art right here. It has 4 surfaces. I choose the last one. This is the outer surface of the object. Choose the symbol which I wanna map, it's here. Hold Shift and drag to scale it down proportionally. When the cursor becomes like this, hold Shift and drag to rotate it 90 degrees. Now I adjust it a little bit to fit the boundaries. Remember that always look at the object preview in Window document while you're adjusting. To exhibit mapped art same shading as object, click Shade Artwork. Then tick off Invisible Geometry to show only the symbol. Click OK when everything's done. Come back to this. Move the object's position 20 degrees to the right. Pay close attention to the parameters I set here. Okay, now just click OK to finish this. Before moving to the next step, I'm going to check out the layer to show you something. As you can see, only one line. And this line was applied 3D revolve effect with mapped art. Then I go to Object, choose Expand Appearance. It becomes a group, right-click and ungroup it 2 times. Look at layer panel, so many groups as well as clip group here. Keep clip groups and remove the groups at the top and bottom, we don't need to care about this. Select all, right-click and choose Release Clipping Mask. After that, you will see the paths in 2 groups. These is 2 groups that we need to care about, keep these and delete the rest. For these group, one group is the front, and one is the back. Ungroup both. And release clipping mask one more time. Remove the shapes with gradient. Only 2 compound paths remain. However, you can't see anything, because 2 compound paths have no fill and no stroke. So, I'm going to apply fill color for it. White for the front, and purple for the back. I also change name of these for easily distinguished in layer panel. Front, and back. The next step is to apply gradient color for the front. Select the front. Then open gradient panel. Note that the angle of gradient is 90 degrees. There are colors I think that it's suitable for this, and I hope you like it. I have prepared for this gradient before recording. And if you want to know the color codes of this group, check out the comments section below. Don't forget to like the video, and subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more Illustrator tutorials. Now I lock the front, work with the back. Make a copy of this. With the new one, rename shade. Then apply gradient. 2 color stops have the same color, but one has 40% opacity, and one left has 80% opacity. Choose 90 degrees for the angle of gradient. Let's check out this. Perfect. Select the shade in the back, group it together. Now unlock the front to group all of this. But before doing this, I check out one more time. Okay, right-click and choose Group. I rename this group Main. Next, I'm going to create a reflection shadow, to makes it look as if my object was laid on a reflective surface, like a glass mirror. Select Main Group, choose Reflect tool. Click anywhere at the object's bottom to put the reference point. Then hold Shift, Alt and drag to reflect the object's copy through the horizontal axis. I use Selection tool to move it down a little bit more. This is the main group. I drag it up to bring it to front. And this group is Reflection Shadow. I name Shadow. Now we just need to work with Shadow, so lock the main group. Select the shadow. Open Transparency, choose Make Mask. When you make mask by transparency, where the opacity mask is white, the artwork is fully visible. Where the opacity mask is black, the artwork is hidden. Shades of gray in the mask result in varying degrees of transparency in the artwork. That's why you can't see anything here, the opacity mask is black. The clip option sets the mask background to black. Deselect clip option. Choose right thumbnail which represents masking objects. Use Rectangle tool to draw a rectangle which the shadow group is inside it. Then apply black and white gradient. As I said before, shades of gray in the mask result in varying degrees of transparency in the artwork. That is exactly why you can see the artwork fade out like this. Choose Gradient tool, and adjust the color stops position, as well as the midpoint position to adjust degrees of transparency in the artwork. When you have done with this reflection shadow, click on the left thumbnail in Transparency panel. Okay, now I check out everything the last time. This is the front, and this is the reflection shadow. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like the video, and subscribe to my channel if you find it helpful for you. I'll let you know the color codes I used in the comments section below, check out it if you need them. I'm Keen Trin and I'll come back next week with a new video about Illustrator. Enjoy your time.